So Mark, Audi A3 and the Mercedes CLA, these are two new entry-level luxury sedans, sort of charting a new course for that segment. Both of these cars give you a similar quantity of stuff for your money. They both start around $30,000. The Audi gives you a little more stuff, but the Mercedes comes standard with the bigger engine. Start with performance. The A3, we had the 2.0T engine, pretty much beat the CLA in every single category. Acceleration, 0 to 16 5.8 versus 6.4. Braking a little better. Slalom, skid pad, again, it won.
I thought it was more balanced, and that quattro all-wheel drive really helps kind of get that grip up front. And because of that, even though it's nose heavy, it felt really nice and balanced, not just in the curves, but even just driving around town. It felt a little more solidly planted, I thought.
Yeah, it feels more grown up. But I would say about the CLA, it doesn't necessarily feel like a traditional Mercedes. It almost feels more like a hot hatch. In that it is front-wheel drive. It has that turbocharged engine. This is some nice, sharp steering. I love the steering wheel itself.
The steering wheel is nice. I agree with you there. But the transmission in the CLA has always been a point of contention for me. And always kind of lurchy, and you feel a couple stages of the clutch finally engaging and moving you along. The A3, there's a little bit of a lag, a little bit of a delay getting off the line, but after that, it's just nice and smooth. Right,
and both have dual clutch automated manual transmissions.
Right.
It's just a matter of the A3 being better executed. All right, let's move on to comfort. Now, the A3 and CLA, they are smaller cars, and you definitely don't have as much space, specifically in the back seat.
Right. The A3 has a little bit more space, but it's still kind of suitable for children or very small adults. The CLA, even smaller, especially when it comes to headroom. I was trying to sit back there behind my front seat, adjusted for me, and I really had to get my head down, touch one way or the other, and it certainly wouldn't be comfortable for more than a short trip.
Yeah, and getting in is a real literal pain.
Yeah, because it's got this triangular opening where you have to duck down and squeeze in and then fall back in.
Yeah, legroom's fine because actually the wheelbase is pretty generous. It's about the same size dimensionally as a current C-Class. But then again, the car looks really good, so there is a trade-off there. If you want it to look all sleek and coupe-like, don't count on having rear passengers with heads.
Exactly. When it comes to looks, the A3 kind of has a stubby tail. It doesn't really impact rear seat comfort, but it does impact trunk capacity.
Yeah, basically the A3 is very similar to an A4 from the 90s.
Yes.
Dimensionally almost identical.
Just a lot wider.
Yeah, a lot wider. I know a lot of people have said that the A3 looks cheap, and then I also had a friend say that the CLA looked fancier because it has that big metal trim and has more buttons on it. It seems like you're getting more. But I don't think the A3 does itself. It looks even better in person. It's very minimalist.
Yeah, it's the whole Audi kind of austere, dark, Bauhaus type design. Mercedes has some nice eye candy, and the silver dash and all these chrome surrounds and everything. It's a little more traditional luxury look. The Audi is more modern, kind of minimalist.
Electronics interface, I think I might prefer command a little more in the Mercedes, but I don't hate the MMI and the Audi like I used to.
Yeah, I'm fine with both now, actually. But where the A3 comes and kind of bests the Mercedes is with this new MMI with the trace technology, and I messed with it quite a bit as far as inputting addresses or searching for songs or artists. You just kind of lightly trace it over the knob, and it's very sharp, very accurate, and I kind of liked using it.
Now, one more thing about the interior, let's talk about cargo space. And this is one area, although the CLA has a smaller backseat, it has a much bigger, more usable trunk. It has over 13 cubic feet of space, a nice big wide opening. I can fit 2 golf bags in there and a pair of suitcases. The A3's has about 10. Which is kind of pathetic. That's that's like smaller than a lot of coupes.
Yeah, it's the smallest trunk in its class.
Of a lot of things.
And you cannot get a golf bag in there with the driver in it. And in most cases, you're probably going to flip the seat down anyway.
Which usually, there's coupes and convertibles you can put a golf bag in.
Right, and it seemed like they didn't make use of all the available space either. There are these panels that keep you from putting things kind of width-wise across the trunk.
Yeah, in general, practicality-wise, you know, like a Volkswagen Jetta has a lot more space, and it's certainly not as nice though. Now let's talk about fuel economy. The Mercedes got 37 miles per gallon on our evaluation loop. That's 2 better than the Audi, which is still really good, and actually better than a Honda Civic. It's a very fuel-efficient car.
Yeah, and you know, driving it moderately, it really didn't take much to get 33.7 or whatever we got.
In the Audi.
In the Audi, right. But what happened was, you know, it's such a fun car to drive, it's hard to not kind of give it some pedal every now and then, so our average kind of plummeted well below EPA.
But isn't that great? You're able to have fun when you want to, but also get great fuel economy.
Exactly,
That really speaks to these cars. But in the end, the Audi A3 is the winner.
The Audi, hands down.
It just feels a lot more substantial, more grown up. It feels more like a shrunken luxury car than a compact car that's had some nicer stuff
Yeah,
going on.
it has wider range. You can have a lot more fun with it, yet still kind of have some luxury and a little bit of prestige.
Yeah, the A3 feels a lot more like a small luxury car, whereas the Mercedes feels like a luxury hot hatch. For more information about the Mercedes-Benz CLA and the Audi A3, go to Edmunds.com.